YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and I have a surprise for you today. So you know that I've been starting on the private label journey. I dabbled in it last year. I kind of heard what it was. I kind of planted a seed. I kind of picked a couple products for my website. Well, this year I've made it a point that I am just going to push through this private label journey. And I did the first video and I talked about how I was excited and how it was a little overwhelming because there was so much information to learn. I showed you my stacks of research that I had done. And this coming Tuesday, I'm going to show you behind the scenes how I took it from the research point to ordering samples through Alibaba. And when I started going through the process of choosing a product, I became really frustrated and really overwhelmed. You know, my whole motto on the entrepreneurgirl.net channel is, build your business, love your life, and balance both. And I got to tell you, I have had no balance at all. I've been working 12-hour days. I've been just really frustrated, really mad at myself because I know better than this. And, all the suppliers and all the information coming in, and I was just overwhelmed and really frustrated. I didn't really feel like I had a handle on what I was doing, and yet I was supposed to push through and do it anyway. I didn't feel like I was moving fast enough. I didn't feel like I was hitting the targets that I wanted to hit, and I would just allow myself to procrastinate and get distracted, and that's just not me. So I was pretty upset with myself, and I know better. And it just got to the point where I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to stop. What is wrong? Let's evaluate the situation. What would you, if your best friend was sitting in front of you, what would you tell her to do? Now, if knowledge combats fear, then accountability would combat lack of action. So I was fearful of taking the private label plunge. I surrounded myself with knowledge, which worked. I got less fearful of it. Came time to do it, and it just wasn't moving like it should. So I need accountability. Now, who can I contact? Who has done this and been successful that I personally know? Who do I trust? Who do I know? Who do I feel really has my best interest in mind and would really tell me the truth? And so I thought in my head and I made a mental list, and I contacted those people. I contacted Dave Gilman, I contacted Devin, I contacted Elena, I contacted all of these people that I knew had been doing private label for over a year and had been successful with it. All really, really helpful, which I knew they would be. And they told me their personal experience. They shared numbers with me. They shared categories with me. They really were helpful in saying, Tracy, do this. You would be crazy not to do this. And then I thought about it. I thought every single one of those people that I contacted had training with Mike Collins, and I watched it change their life. And when something is really changing someone's life because you start to see, they're going on vacations where they didn't do that before. They're buying jewelry and TVs and cars, and it is literally changing their life. I knew that I knew them. I knew that I could trust them. And I was like, okay, Mike Collins is the common denominator that I'm lacking. I don't have Mike Collins. So I reached out to Mike Collins, and that's my surprise for you today. I wanted to go behind the scenes to Mike Collins' private label, powerhouse, warehouse, and actually meet the man, see the warehouse, see the space, touch the things, talk about it, and feel for the whole thing. And I have to tell you, I was blown away. I had a great time. I can't say enough good things. And well, I'm just gonna let the video speak for itself. So I thought I'm just gonna be transparent and I'm gonna put this video out here because I'm going to bet that there's several people out there that are feeling the same way. And if you are, I'm hoping that this video will be a help to you. Hey guys, we are driving to Mike's warehouse for a behind the scenes look, and Gavin is with me. He's going to be filming for us, and I'm excited to see behind what's going on in a real private label enterprise. So we're trying to find it now, and I think you turn here, Gavin. And I can't wait to show you guys.
Okay,
Boy, these look familiar.
This is Jessie. She's our logistics director.
Hi, Jessie.
Hi.
Manages all the logistics for all of about 50 different companies. So
Wow.
or more. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think I've lost count at this point.
Yeah, so a lot we do. So she handles all that. I don't actually work here.
Okay, where do you work?
I have an office at my house. I get like a detached warehouse and office at my house that I work there. This is where the IBs work, the IB managers work. This is kind of like where we have our team, but we have another location that's for like the big stuff that comes in. We have a lot of big shipments that come in, so that's a bigger location.
Is that locally too?
Yeah, it's this is the processing center. This is where actually most of the work gets done.
Okay.
So
the hub of the work. And then
Yeah.
you have two other locations, you said.
And so we process for about 50 different companies that we either own or in partners with, and then like a lot for other people too. I think we got about 50 companies, something like that.
Wow.
Might be more, I don't know. This is where we have all our important meetings. Usually it's when the Chinese food's delivered and things like that. Some of the IB team. Not everybody
Hi,
works at
guys.
the same time.
I'm Tracy. This is my son Gavin.
I know Paul
Hi, Paul.
Dawson, which pretty much everybody in the course will know who he is.
As soon as I open my mouth and you hear my English accent, they go, "Oh, you're that guy."
That's the gecko. Okay, we know.
Yeah.
This is Raymer. He is our IB director. He manages all the IB managers.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
And they all work at different times and stuff. And this is Matt. And,
Hi, Matt.
I'm just sitting here to look good.
Yeah, he's
Cool. So
eye
nice.
candy for us.
Yeah.
It's not a fancy setup, but it doesn't need to be. We're not,
No.
we're not a retail location. This is where we do photography. Looks hokey, but it actually works well.
Beautifully. Yeah, mine's
we-
the same. Mine's a little corner spot. I get that.
This is where all of our stuff comes in to get photographed and like samples and everything. So this is like our sample pile that we give to the picker girls. There's these girls that do picking and sell on eBay and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we have one of the prime dumpsters in the county. So they come over here, but we don't throw it in the dumpster. We wait till they come in and we just give it to them. They love it because a lot of this stuff is expensive. So
So these are the samples from China that you get
Yeah.
sent in.
yeah.
Now, do you do just a few samples, or do you try to do like the 150 samples, or do you jump in with both feet and go ahead?
Well, normally what we do when we order products, we'll have we'll ship by sea. It's a lot more economical, but we'll have like a few of the, maybe one of each thing sent to us as samples, so that we can get our photography done, our copy done. You really need to hold the things in your hand before you can, know too much about them. So, like we'll have. I don't know what it is. So like this bag, we may have 10,000 of them coming, but I don't know what it is. Let's see. Cooler bag or something. But yeah, that's so like they'll send them in with the photography done on them and all of a copy. We've got a whole team that does the graphic arts and all that stuff.
Have you ever gotten a product that you weren't happy with? Or have you been pretty happy with it? No. Okay, so that's one of my fears. I have samples coming to me now, and I'm worried that I'm not going to like them. They're going to feel too cheap and inexpensive, or it's going to be kind of
Yeah,
scammy.
well, here's an example right here. Here's an example. Okay, so this is a product that the bag that it comes in, this is a tent. The bag that it comes in is too flimsy. So I need something better. So they just make a different bag for me. That's why we get the sample, so we can make sure it's something that we're going to be able to market.
So would you get one of those sent to you, 3 of them?
And it's not one.
Just one.
And
Okay.
then say, yeah, okay, I want a different bag, a heavier bag or a canvas bag, something like that. And then we'll make adjustments to that.
So are you thinking for shipping? Is it like?
Well, everything's different, obviously.
That's a pretty big, heavy thing.
Yeah, I've got a 40-foot container coming of those by sea, so it's it comes out to be a lot cheaper. Like a 20-foot container, say we pay $3,800 for a 20-foot container. For a 40-foot container, we might only pay like $4,800. So we get twice the amount for only $1,000 more. So it comes out a lot cheaper.
Are your samples you getting by air, or is
Yeah, we get
okay?
those sent by express.
Okay, so your main order is by boat, so you have a customs agent. I remember seeing that in your course. So you have to get a customs agent, and but you're saving money, but it does take a little bit more time, right? A couple more weeks, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at usually 30 days when you ship by sea, but I guess when you're first starting out, it's like you want your product right away and things like that, and that's understandable. But once you build up an operation and stuff, you just get used to, stuff coming when it comes, because you want to make it as profitable as possible.
I think the customs seems scary to us newbies, dealing with that, because we haven't dealt with that before, and having to get in customs agent and everything.
One of my students, he said, Mike, I checked with your customs broker and he was like $200 more than everybody else. I said, I've been using this guy forever. He's been in business locally for 35 years. He's the only person I use. He's the only person I'll recommend. Yada, yada, yada. The whole 9 yards. And he contacted me yesterday. He says, Mike, I need help. He goes, my shipment's stuck in customs and they can't clear it because there was no ISF filed on it. I said, that's the job of the customs broker. He goes, my broker didn't do it. He goes, what can you do to help me? I said, go back in time and listen to what I told you a month ago when I said use a real broker and not whoever it is that you chose. So I don't have problems. I never run into problems with shipping. And it's as easy as this. Okay, I placed an order. So let's say, like, I just placed an order. This woman, her name's Joyce, that I work with in China, and I said, okay, I want blah, blah, blah. And so she says, okay, so now the order's ready. And so she says, okay, Mike, order is ready. And there's a boat scheduled on the 28th. We can get it out on the 28th. I said, okay, good. And then I sent an email to Hal. I said, Hal, this is Joyce, need shipping. Thanks, done. I don't do anything else. My stuff shows up. That's it. I don't worry about it. I don't worry if it's going to clear customs. I don't worry about the forms being filed. I don't worry about any of that. It's never an issue, never, because I use a reputable customs broker. As long as you use a reputable customs broker, no problem. And some of the stuff that we have shipped, like these come from France, so not everything is from China. Like these all come from France. We have them made in France. They're the company that makes these makes them for the French military as well. For the Navy, these. And
is that something you discuss in your course? Other places outside of Alibaba? Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, well, actually, you can find it pretty much everything on Alibaba, but most people think that everything comes from China, and that's not the case. I mean, we have stuff that comes from all over. We have stuff from Pakistan. Let's go take a look in the warehouse now. Keeping in mind, especially if you're videotaping this place is a mess because it's a processing center. So don't hold it against me.
No judgment.
No judgment.
Awesome.
So these are,
Hi.
this is Aaron and Thomas.
Hi, nice to meet you.
They run
I'm Tracy.
stuff back here. That's Tracy and her son, Gavin. So stuff comes in and it kind of gets sorted. It's messy as it looks. You know exactly what's going on here. Here's an example where we're talking about like something goes wrong with an order. Okay, so that one actually seems to be okay. Well, you can see the logo on here is a little bit fuzzy. A lot of them were like double printed.
Mm-hmm.
So I just told the factory, said, I don't like it, fix it. Send me new bags. So I said I want a different color, so they sent new bags, new logo.
Nice. Okay.
No cost.
So you didn't have to eat the price of these? Okay.
They want to do business with me, they're going to fix the problems. And they do, because we buy millions of dollars worth of product a month. So, they want to keep us very, very happy. And they know that I recommend them to students and everybody. And I will never recommend anybody unless, I know that they're going to do what I want. So if I have a problem with bags, they fix it, no problem. So now I know that there's somebody that can recommend other people products.
So how does this whole processing center work, plus your other locations? You have so many orders that you felt you needed this space because you have, I mean, obviously all of this coming in, and then what's happening once it's delivered here?
Well, most of the stuff that comes in here needs to have like either labels or something put on them. And so it comes in and it instantly gets flipped around and put the labels on or whatever, and then it heads off to Amazon. We do fulfillment on a lot of things, so what we'll do is we may bring 2 or 3 cases of a product here while the rest of it's at the big warehouse, and so that we can do fulfillment from that. So we don't, obviously we don't store everything here. This is more just where things get taken care of. And we get a lot of, people will have like removal orders done at Amazon, so that's why you see all these smashed boxes that end up because they're being removed and sent here, and we you know, either put them in a long-term storage for them, or they're going to do something else, or we sell them another way or something. So it gives people, it gives all the students a way to get out of having to go through the costly expenses of maintaining the logistics. We can do it for you, which saves everybody a lot of money. And that's really why we started the course, was because when you have a large group of people, you can accomplish so much more. It wouldn't make sense to have 3 warehouses, a big storage warehouses and a processing center and stuff like that for just my stuff. But if I make it available to all the students, it makes it so that everybody can take advantage of the savings. Same thing with like shipping. We have discounted shipping rates, contracts with all the major shipping companies. And because we ship so much, I mean, like, literally Jesse just paid about $50,000 a day in shipping invoices, which she pays every week because we're doing shipping for everybody, for a lot of people, so we get that discounted rate, where I wouldn't get the discounted rate if it was just my stuff. We're actually DHL's largest customer in Florida.
Wow.
I had no idea. I didn't think it was that. I was like, really? I mean, I could think of a lot of bigger companies. No, because you are our largest shipper for Florida. So we do a lot for DHL. That's why they give us great deals.
So this is a service that you offer your students.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And do you have all of your products sent here so you can physically watch the quality and make sure it's like what you want, kind of like the bags?
Yeah.
You don't ship directly to Amazon? You don't?
No, we do.
You do
we
sometimes?
do. If it's the first order, it comes here, or it goes to the other warehouse. And then if there's an issue, then it'll come here to be fixed. Like the bags need to be switched out. That's why I put those bags in. And that's usually just on the first order, because we want to make sure, even if we get samples, we get the first order sent to us so that we can see that everything's just the way we want. And if it's just the way we want, fantastic. Then we start sending it to Amazon. If it's not the way we want, we get it fixed. And that way we don't have customers giving us 51-star reviews right off the bat because something is not right.
Right.
It gives us that extra quality.
Okay. One of the questions, we have an Amazon 360 Facebook group, and so I knew I was going to be meeting you last night. I knew that, so I posted on there if they had any questions. And one of the questions was, what would be your advice for an international seller, as far as like doing the labels, doing all of this?
Doing here with schoolwork.
I wouldn't think so.
Nice to meet you. Oh, could I do my?
Do you live on Pineland?
Yes. Okay. Some things that probably no one knows is that you and I are from the same island.
Yeah.
You were on one end, I was on the other, but we didn't ever cross paths or meet each other until the funny thing is that the Gilmans from Idaho
Right. Yeah.
go to Miami. I come from the island to meet them. You were there, and then I met you for the first time last year sometime. I don't even remember what that was. So that's a pretty funny story. But you no longer live on the island.
No, I don't live on the island now. I live out in the country. But I live out in the country because I'm building a house in the Abacos, so in the Bahamas. So it's very much on an island there.
Yes, that's true. And this puts you closer to all your business stuff, not being that drive.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool that we're from the same island. And then the second thing that we have in common, how many kids do you have?
8.
I have 8 kids.
Do you really?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and so
Yeah.
we knew that we each had a lot of kids, but we have the exact same number of kids, which is pretty crazy because no one has 8 kids anymore.
I know. Yeah, it's Dick Van Patten, right? You better say
Brady Bunch. I just have a lot, and now we're both interested in private label. Now, did you start with private label, or did you kind of build up from like regular retail arbitrage type of thing?
Private label, but what had happened was the way I got into it really was I was in an accident in an airplane, broke my back, and so I needed to work from home, basically work from bed. And I didn't know anything about a computer. I didn't even know what email was. I had no idea. And so, but I needed to find something that I could do from bed. What could be better than doing something online? I had already had a career in copywriting and advertising and putting together complete marketing plans for a lot of like big name brands.
So is that your grown-up job before private label?
Yeah.
Was into marketing and all of, which is
Can't exactly call it a grown-up job because basically I sailed around the world and worked from my boat, and I used to fax stuff in because there was no internet. So we used to, tell my editor, so I'm going to be on this island at this marina on the 15th, and so he would fax over information for my next assignment, and I'd fax back my finished assignments.
so you liked what you did before?
Oh, I always loved it. I lived on a sailboat and sailed around the world. Couldn't beat it.
Okay, so the accident changed things.
The accident changed things, yeah.
Okay.
So then I decided that I needed to find out something to do online. There had to be something. And so I really didn't know what I was doing at all. I had no clue. I figured out some things and, started messing around with it. And I decided I was going to start my own organic baby clothing company. And so I started a company called Pea Patch Kids. And I didn't know anything about baby clothes other than they were always laying all over my floor pretty much my whole adult life. But other than that, I didn't know anything about them. And so I got a designer and worked on it a little bit. And so I built up this organic baby clothing company and got bought out by a major brand who changed the brand to their brand and bought me out. And then I just messed around with a whole bunch of stuff for a little while and online with nothing really sticking. And but I had made quite a bit of money with that baby thing, so I was able to test a lot of different stuff. And finally, I got onto something I was doing well with it, and somebody had said something about Amazon. This is back 10 years or so ago. And I said, I'll mess with it, I'll try it. And I bought my first product, spent $80 on product, sent it in, and sold in, 2 weeks or whatever. And I said, well, let's do it again. So I bought more inventory this time. And it just got to be to the point where I started selling so much stuff. I said, okay, I need to, I'm going to make money on this. There's some money in this. And that was it. It just blew up from there. And now we've got, like I said, 50 something different companies and brands and thousands and thousands of products. We're in retail locations. We're in rental locations where people rent some of our products that we do. We do drop shipping for other wholesalers, stuff like that. So it's just grown like crazy.
And so now you have a course, which we're going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, what I found from the courses are that the courses that were out there, I was looking for something before I really got in. I was looking for something where I could learn. Everything I could find was nothing but internet marketers. It's like, I can't do it, so I'll make a course to do it. And I couldn't find anything, so I just stopped looking, basically. And then once my company grew, my business grew so much that I started researching about Amazon itself and the whole thought process behind it. And it was, Jeff Bezos was thinking crowdsourcing. It's all about crowdsourcing. So I looked into what crowdsourcing could really mean for me. What could I do? And I thought, well, if I had employees in a warehouse and, different things like that, I would be able to do so much more and really grow my business. Instead of growing it slowly, I could grow it quickly. Mm-hmm. And so the way to do that was to make it profitable. Well, the only way to make it profitable was to have other Amazon sellers using it too. And, well, what could I do? Well, I had a lot of information because I'd made a lot of money on Amazon, so I had a lot of information I could share with people. So I put together a course, and not really to sell the course, but to bring people in so that they could take advantage of the same resources that I had to make it profitable for all of us. And it grew from there. I ended up getting a couple of partners that were really into the whole course thing, and I personally wasn't, because it wasn't about selling the course for me. It was about doing Amazon. And they ended up, raising it up, selling the course for $10,000 and all that stuff. And finally I said, guys, you know what? Sorry, I'm not an internet marketer. I don't want to be. I love what I do. I love sharing what I know with other people. So, sorry, I just gave them the company and walked away. Started a new course, and now we have our IB program, which is basically we partner with other people and stuff like that. And but it's a great crowdsourcing opportunity. And yeah, we do have a lot of knowledge because I got a lot of people that work with me or for me, both. And we share knowledge, and so we're able to bring that out to other people. Show them how to avoid costly mistakes, because I've made them all. Every one of them I made them. So, but we have people where they haven't made any of these because they learn from my mistakes.
Well, I can testify, because when I met you, you were part of that other group, and I watched you walk away from that and start your own thing. I've watched people that I personally know become successful under you. So I seldom on my channel tell people, this is the real deal, but I actually feel that you're the real deal. And then I can personally testify, because you've been so helpful to me, and you really didn't know me. So, you've been really, really genuinely helpful. And the Gilmans have too. So I'm really grateful for you guys. And then we kind of share that story, because I had health issues. I had thyroid cancer, and I had pulmonary embolism, and I wanted to stay home with my 8 kids.
Right.
And was looking for a job that I could do online, which wasn't a lot when I was looking. So I made a list, and then I started with eBay, Amazon, and then just kind of kept growing it. So I have to ask your advice for people like me that are getting into private label and it's kicking our butt. What would be your advice to us as far as I don't know what it is, because I've done this. I have 2 degrees. I'm like, Tracy, you can, but I don't know if it's fear or what. But give me a kick in the rear here, Mike.
Well, Amazon has changed a lot. Actually, not Amazon so much as it is the shoppers. The shoppers have changed. It used to be, 3-4 years ago, you could throw up a product and be done and make lots and lots of money, and that'd be it. Have one little product and make a lot of money. It's not that way anymore. And the reason is because Amazon shoppers know about private label marketers, and they come and they go, and they have one little product up there, and the product isn't what they want, and so they have problems getting a return or getting their money back because that person's going to be gone the next day. They're aware of that. So people are more in tune with buying from brands. So now we concentrate not on the products, on the brand. We build a brand, we make sure that brand has the right type of social media, the right type of story behind it, whatever the case may be. And we build out that brand so that regardless of what products we sell, we have that brand supporting it. And people, they go to our website, they look at our website, they Google us, for our different brands to see if, it's like, I found your product on Amazon, but I wanted to find out if, they ask a question that they sent to our website. So we know that they're going there, right? And what that does is that tells me that you need to have that brand awareness for your company in order to really succeed on Amazon. And what most people think is that means you have to invest a lot more money and buy a lot more products. Not the case. Not the case at all. Because when you buy a lot of products, a lot of times you get 10, 15, 20 of them. Where, you might be trying to get one product and they say the MOQ is 1,000, where you have to buy a minimum. But I go in, I get the catalog, and say, yeah, give me 10 of everything, we'll try it out. What sells, I'll buy more of, and what doesn't, I won't. And suppliers are happy to do it because it depends, there's some things you're not going to be able to do that on, but, a lot of things you can. So we're focused on building that brand and giving that real good customer satisfaction, and it's really easy from there. I mean, this is not rocket science at all. It's
So for those of us that are needing a push, I mean, I think your course would be really beneficial because not only do you have the course that is broken down very nicely, you know, phase 1, phase 2, I like that because I'm that way.
Yeah.
But you also have like a group of people, right?
Right.
So you have communities that you've also built up. So if I had a question, you know, I was dealing with shipping issues, I could go on there and ask and get answers real time, correct?
I mean, we get some questions from support, you know, through support, and that's fine. But we also get phone calls. We also get emails and Skypes from people. I talk to people literally every single day, students every day. I talk to them except Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays. Thursdays my Sabbath, that's when I go fishing. And Saturday and Sundays family time. So I don't work weekends or Thursdays, 4-day work week. But you know, I have people ask me questions every day, or you know, say, "Hey, Mike, can you spend a half hour with me so that we can? I'm lost on this." No problem.
And on the Facebook group, right? You
Yeah,
have a
and
Facebook
in the
group.
Facebook group, but you know, and then one-on-ones and stuff like that. And I don't charge. You know, I mean, you know, internet marketers will say, "Okay, yeah, let's offer one-on-one coaching, and we'll charge $120 an hour." And I'm not in the business of coaching. I'm not going to try to sell my course. I'm not going to try to talk anybody into buying my course. My course is there, one, definitely to help people, and because I love the fact that we've had some really great success stories. I've got single moms that were like ready to lose their house that are now buying, you know, brand new homes and new cars. Had one woman that's getting her kids taken away because she couldn't support them anymore, and now she's liquid, you know, she's good.
That's what makes it worth it.
Had a college student that had he was living in New York City in a one room, not one bedroom, but a one room apartment with his wife and baby, who just graduated engineering school and couldn't pay his student loans and lived in New York City. Within 8 months, he quit being an engineer at his entry level position and owns their own home in Westchester County. So life changes fast in this business. That's why I do coaching. That, and it brings people in to use our services. We don't make money off the services. That's not what it's about. We're not trying to make money off the services. Like, we pay a flat fee of $5 shipping for DHL from overseas. You go and you try to do it on your own, it costs you $12, $14. We pay $5 flat. That's what you pay. You know, we don't build it up. We're not trying to make money that way. We make a crap load of money off Amazon. That's good enough for me.
So you love what you do.
Absolutely.
I can tell by talking to you that you really like it. Do you ever feel like, because one of the reasons I initially started into this was to have flexibility in my lifestyle, to be able to travel, make memories with the kids, and do things that were important. You know, when you have a health thing or something happens, you know, that awareness comes.
Sure.
Do you feel sometimes that you've developed into a job again? Because I'm starting to feel like,
Not even close.
because you can go fishing whenever you want, or
we do.
you have people to run it, or
Yeah, I hear that all the time. It's like, I want to keep it small so it's not too much work. I'm like, really? That's great. I work 4 days a week. I do not break that rule, and I don't work every week of the month. We go on vacation at least once every 2 months. July, I'm not doing anything in June. Well, yeah, we are going to the Keys for a couple days. But in July, 1st of July, I'm going to Alaska fishing for a week. Last month, we went to the Bahamas for a week. Before that, you know, so we're constantly moving. And, you know, I'm doing 7 figures a month. We're turning over well into the millions on a monthly basis. I don't work too hard. Ask any of the guys in there, they'll tell you I don't work too hard at all.
you see, because before I didn't, and then now that I'm in this huge learning curve, I am putting in 12-hour days, no lie, like 12-hour days. And I know a lot of it's because my dad passed away and I'm kind of like, you know, diving into my work. But 12-hour days, and I'm starting to think, well, wait a minute, this wasn't the point. But I think that's just to grow. And then once it's grown, then you have that freedom again. So, but I wanted to ask you, because you've, you know, gone through that, you're there, and I just want to make sure I'm staying on the right path with that.
I was working 18 to 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was in my home office, not where I live now, but in another house. And my daughter who was about 3 at the time, came in and I said, "Oh, I said, I love your haircut, it's so cute." And my wife says, "It was done 3 days ago." I shut my computer. I said, "That's it, no more. 9 to 5 maximum, and 4 days a week." And now it's more like 10:30-ish to 2-ish. You know? But yeah, so now, I mean, it's once you get past the learning curve, it really doesn't take a lot of time. It's a matter of getting your system in place. You know, it's once your products are up and running, you know, you just have everything shipped directly into Amazon. So you don't, you know, you're answering emails, and then we have people that do all that stuff for us now, answering our customer emails and, you know, the customer support. But it's not something that you need to hire people for unless you just want to go nuts like we do.
Do you feel like it's oversaturated, the Amazon sellers? Because you hear that. I don't feel
Not
that it
at
is.
all. I hear that all
But
the
you
time.
hear it all the time, and I think it's stopping people from going in. Another thing I hear is, "Why are you teaching your competition?" Tracy, I hear that.
Here's my thing about competition. I love competition. Competition is fantastic because competition breeds innovation. And so we have to make our products better. We have competition, we make our product better. That's the way a good commerce, you know, good commerce should be. People need to innovate and be new in order to, you know, otherwise everybody'd still be using butter churns, right? So without competition, you know, there's no innovation. So, you know, I love that part of it. I don't concern myself with, you know, keeping up with the competition. Simple, be better. Because most people don't. And that's the sad truth, but most people just don't, you know. They'll copy what somebody else is doing, put it up and go, "How come I'm not rich yet?" If you had to ask, that's why.
Right.
You know, but saturation, I don't worry about that so much. One of the big things now is we need to change the shopper's mind, the consumer's understanding of what we do. And it's starting to happen now, and it will be in a few years. You know, everybody hated the big box companies, Walmart and Kmart and Costco. They hated all these things because they were just like, you know, they took over all the mom and pop shops. And entire downtowns just disintegrated because of these types of stores. And now the mom and pop shops are fighting back. No, we don't have the brick and mortar locations anymore, but hey, you know what? We've got drones now. We've got 3D printers now. You got to get with the technology. Commerce is online now. And who's making the money? The mom and pop shops. The little people that work hard and have great ideas, not the Walmarts. And we're putting them out of business. Sports
Authority, yeah.
Sports Authority. You know, it's like they're saying, you know, it's because of Amazon and Amazon's stolen jobs. No, they didn't. You make your crap in China and you pay your people a very low wage. Those jobs went back to the people who really need them, the mom and pop stores who can employ 1 or 2 people and things like that. And it puts money back in people's pockets without all the middlemen.
Right.
And it's greener because you don't have to have those retail locations everywhere. So, yeah.
Is there anything you hate about private label, or do you pretty much like it all?
No, I would say from the coaching side of it, there's one thing that really bugs me when people, they'll start out with giving me a list of reasons on why it's not going to work for them. At that point, I want to say, there's nothing I can do for you. I don't even want to teach you. I have refunded people's money and told them, it won't work for you. I'm not going to make any money. Here's the money back. And they're like, what? And one guy actually, he calls me a crook. He calls me this. He calls me that. He was, 10 excuses right off the bat on why I can't make any money. My knee hurts today, so I can't really do anything. Well, you know what? Why are you telling me?
I think a lot of it has to do with fear,
Yeah.
Which I think your course helps. Videos like this helps, because I think that to combat fear is knowledge, because the more you know about something, but then there's a point where you have to take action. And
Absolutely.
the people that I think you're referring to also, because I come across a lot of people that they're just in this years of courses and books and videos, and there's never really a point of action. And so they'll always be in that, spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and never really making any money. So this is about action.
Very much
Taking
so.
your course.
All taking imperfect action. That's, I mean, my partner Paul and I will tell you, I come up with business ideas like on a continuous basis. And I said, so how are we gonna do it? I said, I don't know, we'll just do it. Just do it, and that's it. You know, like we build boats now. So I went out and I bought like $100,000 worth of welders and all this equipment to make aluminum flats boats.
Wow.
And got a really top-notch boat builder, welder, and you know, everything to go do it. And so my partner said, well, where are we gonna? I said, don't worry about it. Let's build boats. We'll build boats. We'll find a way to sell them. I said, okay. So he's used to that part of me now. So it's all about just taking action.
It's the entrepreneur in you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so those that want to take action, I'm going to be, talking a lot about your course because I like it. And when are you starting? I hear you're opening up soon. We're all hoping.
Yeah, I think Dave and Sarah are opening it up again tomorrow. Generally, what we do is, like, because the Facebook group is very, very active, but there's a normal progression. You know, after so long, people, they fall into their routines and they get it all figured out. So they're not on Facebook asking the questions, so they're not on there answering as much either. So once we see a big lull in the Facebook group, we'll open up the coaching again to get a lot more people on there. Mm-hmm. And then we have a lot of, very, very avid followers that will love to answer questions, and so the new people come in, so it keeps things going and keeps things fresh. If we didn't open it back up, that's, we don't open it for very long. We don't let a few people in.
Okay, well, I'm going to be putting links down below to your course, so it is opening up, and they've got to meet you. They've got to see one of your places.
Yeah, ask me a question about international, because we do have, we've got a physical location in the UK too for all of our Europe enterprises. The same thing, we're processing FBA prep center and all that stuff we offer for people for our UK location. But you had a question about international sellers?
Right, we do have quite a few people in the group. Some are from even just Canada, but it all changes when you're not here in the States, and there's a lot of questions that I don't know how to answer pertaining to what they should do specifically, as far as like getting the product to them, making sure the quality is good, labeling it, getting it to the Amazon.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we handle a lot of that for people, especially things like labeling, and we do photography, we do the copywriting. We do a lot of receiving. A lot of people would like to use our shipping plan because we get discounted shipping, so they'll have it sent here, because we have people from all over the world. So we'll have it either sent here, one of the other locations, and then we'll handle it all for them, and they go and they figure it out and go, wow, it's cheaper than if it came to me, and I did it, because then they have to send it back and some customs and all that nonsense. So we make it cheaper for them.
Back to that power in numbers that you were referring to.
Yeah, that's why we call everything we do co-ops, because they really are. There's nothing set up to be a business for us to make money off of. It's set up so that we can all save money, because the money's on Amazon.
Right. So you take a person that has never private labeled before, and you take them through all the steps they need to get their first product up and going. I know you have a lot of heavier, higher level stuff. You really take a person to building it to high levels if they want to. But for the beginner, which I think is most of who's going to be watching this video, you take them through the process. And
exactly, yeah. Some people, they grow real quick. Good buddy of mine, John Gill, he went from, he was an ex-cop, and he was big with ASM. He was like the ASM spokesperson, another course there and stuff. And then him and I met, and we hit it off right away. And so him and I have been doing stuff together ever since. But he went literally from nothing to 7 figures a month in no time. And so he was ready for big expansion really quick. And I was prepared for that, and he was prepared for that. So students can come in and, you know, they can stay forever at a low level, and that's perfectly fine. A lot of people want to. It's just a little hobby for them. That's perfectly fine. But if they want to turn it into some big empire, they can do that too. There's no limit.
I think a lot of people are afraid of losing their investment. I've had a couple people, and you can tell me whether you agree or disagree, but they've told me that even a bad private label product still makes them $600 to $800 a month profit. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say maybe, and if I had to tell you what they were, I couldn't. Maybe two, maybe even not two. Could be three products in my life that I ended up getting stuck with. I sell everything eventually, you know. I mean, it's maybe not even two. I can't think of one. So, but there has to be something.
Right.
There's got to be something we got stuck with. I just can't think of anything.
So
it's rare.
When you're sourcing a product, you don't have that fear anymore of it not making? Do you feel like you can make money off of pretty much anything, or is that first selection process like vital to what you're doing?
A lot of times I just tell, you know, I just tell the factory, send me everything in your catalog.
And then you just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, kind of thing.
It's not so much about the products, because you can literally sell anything. It's making sure that the pricing works. You know, what are you gonna have to sell it for? How much is shipping gonna cost? How much is prep gonna cost? How much is the customs gonna cost? How much is everything gonna cost? What is my cost of sale? How much money is it gonna cost me to sell this product? Then how much can I sell it for? As long as you're in the green there, you're good to go.
Do you have a green, the minimum amount of green that you want? What?
43% is what we look for.
Okay.
Minimum cost of sale, 43%, nothing higher than that. We try to keep it down around 20, but we try, but we're not very successful with that. Sometimes it is a lot more. Like I have products I sell for $16, I pay a quarter for. But we also have products that, you know, sell for $3,000-$4,000.
Profit per private label product. So if you had 10 private label products, you could tentatively plan on $10,000 profit.
Oh no, it's
Per
way
month.
more than that.
That was safe, but you think?
I don't get out of bed for less than $100,000 a month. No,
I wish I could say the
I
same.
want to be mine when I grow up.
Oh yeah, no product is the way we want, but you know we look to try to get at least on average. I'm going to say about $8,000 a month per product, and that's over the course of average. There's going to be some that are going to be, you know, 50, 60. We have some that are over 100. You know, it really depends, but I would say the average person is probably going to be about $8,000 a month per product.
What are the two things that you're looking for the most when you're looking for a product? 2 or 3 top things that you look for? Is it like the bestseller rank and the reviews, or?
Is there something I can say about it? I need to be able to sell it. Okay, I'll find. You take something like this. I can give you so many ridiculous benefits about this thing. And I mean, the features, obviously, you know, it's a wire basket. But what are the benefits of it? All right, so if you live in Florida, you got fruit flies. Keeps your fruit dry and humidity free. Keeps fruit flies away. Whatever, you know, you can find out so many different things. And then you start testing and see what's making people buy it. And then once you find out what's making people buy it, you know to elaborate on that and make sure that's in your images and stuff like that. So it really doesn't matter what you sell. And it's like, you know, I used to sell these ridiculous little shower clocks that were, the face of the clock was no bigger than a watch and had a suction cup stuck on the wall in the shower. You could pick them up at the dollar store for $1 or $2. I sold them for like $16.95 on Amazon. And they had great reviews. I sold them like crazy. I'm thinking, who would buy this? People who live in trailers have to know what time it is too, right? And this is something that you would see in a trailer, not in a multi-million-dollar home. So don't exclude anybody. Everybody buys something. Somebody that lives in their car, they need air fresheners, right? So you're homeless, you live in your car, you got to buy an air freshener. I got just the air freshener for you. So don't exclude anybody. Not everything is about being the best, of having the best product, because people buy cheap crap too. They buy good stuff, and that's where the money's going to be spent. But on some of the really cheap stuff, as long as you can sell it without it, just instantly breaking, a little suction cup clock that sticks to the wall serves a purpose. There's a market for it, and I think I paid 40 cents a piece for it.
So you think, first you have to choose the product, but then marketing the product is probably the more important step?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's all in the copy. It's all in how you explain the product to people.
And do you hire that out?
Well, no, that was my specialty, okay?
Because that was your background.
That was my background, marketing and advertising campaigns. Have you ever seen the Wendy's commercials, the girls in the poodle skirts?
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that. That was We Bring It All Back for You campaign. Blockbuster Video, we did all the ones for Blockbuster Video with the star impersonators. So I used to put together these really big campaigns, and so that was what I learned. So the first thing I do, like when we hire a new IB, they're basically the account managers. So when we hire a new account manager, the very first thing they do is for like the first month, they don't do anything except copy. And I give them things like this, and say, I want you to tell me all the great things about it and why it's better than using this one and another one. And they're sitting there and they're looking at it, they're so stumped and they can't come up with anything. It's a process, but once you learn it, and everybody that's signed, I created a course for a buddy of mine a long time. We spent like a weekend putting this course together. The course is crappy, but the information's really good. But everybody it's a copywriting course. Everybody that joins the coaching, I always give it to them free. They can have access to it because copywriting is extremely important. We do provide copywriting for people that don't hate it, or people that have like English as a second language a lot of times. So, we have a team, about 7 people that do nothing but write copy. And they've been trained by me personally and by Paul, who I trained Paul. I worked with him on copy for like 2 years before he started working with other people on it. Yeah, that's the big thing.
In your photographs, or do you do everything back there in the back room, or do you hire out the?
Yeah, we take our photos here, but then our graphic arts team takes the photos and does other things with them.
Okay, so you have a team for photos, a team for your copy, and.
Well, we used to have a photographer. We got rid of the photographer because she was not all that great, and everybody here can take pictures. So when something comes in, whoever does it, just takes the raw pictures, and then the raw pictures go to the graphic artists.
And then you take that great listing that you have, and then you market it utilizing PPC, Amazon PPC, or where are you with that?
Yeah,
or
just all
Facebook pages, or
depends,
Google?
but for the most part, Amazon PPC does it all. We have some other methods and stuff. We've got one guy, his whole job is to do nothing but get our products in physical locations. So he drives around and goes to different stores and stuff like that with samples and gets them in there. So, but for the most part, yeah, it's just Amazon PPC. I don't mess with Google ads or
Any of that. And how many products do you have in queue right now? Are you a one product, really research it, look at your competition, all of that, or, well, you said like you just go to the factory and get 10 of whatever, 10 products. So you don't necessarily believe that it should be one at a time. It could be like 10 at a time or 15
yeah, we
at a
launched
time.
we launched niches. I mean, obviously you don't have to, but we launched a niche, a brand at one time. So we'll come up with a brand. That's like what they're doing in there right now. The guys are doing is they're putting together a bunch of products for a brand. When all those products come in, we'll launch the whole brand.
Okay, that's good. So anything that a new person needs to know to get off the couch and get busy with this?
Yeah, you're never gonna find anything easier to make money. I mean, it really is. This is foolproof. You gotta be like, I don't know, totally short bus not to make money on this, because it's, it's hard not to.
Well, that's encouraging, though. That's
Yeah.
what we need to hear to overcome.
If you could just make sure you can get past the mistakes. It's the mistakes when you're starting out that people just aren't aware of. customs issues and knowing how to deal with that and having the right people in place and labeling issues and, you know, I mean, just the size of the box you send into Amazon or how many products you're putting in that box and sending it to Amazon. There's a million little things that could be mistakes that end up costing you money. And that's what makes a business tank. Well, I've made those mistakes and wrote them down, so now I can say, don't do that. You know? And,
Exactly. Well, that's why I started the YouTube channel, was to help, well, originally to help one other mom out there, to give her the option to stay home with her kids. You know, because I knew moms that were going off to work and crying every day. And here it was working. And I didn't know it was going to work when I started, but it did. And then I thought, man, if I could just tell one more person. But it's hard now because the internet is so, you know, there's so many people out there now. There's so many YouTube channels. There's so many, you know, marketing that it does kind of feel like a sales pitch all the time. And I get that on my channel now, like, you know, like I'm making big bucks on YouTube and you're not. You're not. So, you know, I think it's important. It's kind of hard for us because if you do really care and really want to help people, it still feels like a sales pitch, you know, but hopefully if there's enough good people, like I know they know the Gilmans, you know, they've been around forever, you know, I hope they know me now, and, you know, to be able to vouch for people and say, like,
the one thing that we do, in whether they, you know, they get into our coaching program or not, regardless, get into some sort of network. You've got to have a network of people. One of the very first thing that we do when we get new students sign up is we get them into an accountability group, and which are like little masterminds. And these accountability groups are, you know, you treat them like they're your boss. You know, you got to answer to them. You know, did you source 3 new products this month or whatever? You know, you say this is my goal, and then you've got to go and you got to tell the rest of the people in your group whether you did what you're supposed to or not. So it makes you want to do it. It motivates you to get out there and to take action. So networks are huge important. Or if nothing else, at least have an accountability partner.
right. And we talk about accountability a lot. And another thing we talk about is how important education is, like your course or a book or anything else. But people get hung up on the cost, and your course could be like the cost of one college semester, you know, and people just don't look at it like that. Or like if I go to my accountant, whatever I'm paying them, they should be saving me more than I'm paying them.
Exactly.
And good education is going to save you way more in mistakes and time and like that accountability you were talking about, or just having that network, or just getting off your butt and doing it because you have someone to hold your hand, you know, versus never doing it. So I appreciate you taking the time today.
My pleasure.
Hey, how cool was that? So now I have a lot to say to you. First, I liked Mike. I liked the way he looked directly in my eyes. He answered my questions. He was very personable. He didn't seem scammy at all. He seemed genuine and like the real deal. And I could tell that he was knowledgeable about what he was talking about. Second, I saw his warehouse. I saw his product. I saw the Amazon boxes and the Alibaba boxes, his staff of 6 or 7 people. I was in there, you know, in the space, touching it, feeling it, looking at it. And wow, you know, like I want that too. Third, I know people that's worked with Mike. I know that it's been successful. I've seen it. I also know that in theory, private label should work. I believe in the theory of private label. I'm excited about adding this element to my own business because I really think it's not only going to kick it up like a notch, I really feel it's going to kick it up several notches. The fourth thing, being there with him, being there in the space, I left in a much different mood. I was motivated, I was encouraged, back to being excited again. And the fifth thing, now I just feel stupid for not doing it sooner. What am I going to do now? Well, before, Mike's course was closed, and I would still refer him because I knew of the successes of people that I personally knew, and I felt confident in referring. And you know, I don't refer people very easily. Like I'm very selective on this channel for the last 2 years about, you know, what I say and who I say, because I know there's a trust here. You know, you trust me to steer you in the right way, and I never ever want to intentionally hurt that. Good news, Mike's course is now open again. Yay! The bad news, it's only open for 7 days, and that started last night. It's going to close again like on June 15th. So let me show you the information. Let me show you the course. So these are some of the types of things that you will see from the website, 2016 and beyond. And they have both the written documents and they also have the video. I'm going to show you kind of my sheets that I had printed up and I was highlighting as I went through them.
Hey, Mike here again, and in this video I want to show you how to look for products. Now, it's common, most people, the way they do it is they go to Amazon, and once they get on Amazon they start looking. So I'm just going to go type in toys, and they're going to go on the bestseller list and start looking. Where can they compete? Because, hey, the bestsellers where all the money is, right? Wrong. This is where everybody looks. You need to be unique. In this business, you've got to be unique. Now, one of the reasons for this course is to teach you how to be creative yourself. Following everything I do exactly won't work for you, because you've got to do things with your own twist and your own angles. And if you try to follow some step-by-step system that you may find elsewhere online, what's going to happen is everybody's going to be doing the same thing. And if everybody's doing the same thing, you end up with saturated markets. For example, if we go in here and we type in silicone baking mats, you're going to get 1 million people selling the exact same thing. Why is that? It's because in other courses and in other resources online that teach people how to do this, they give them a certain way to look for products. So you get 1,000 people all looking for the same thing, and what happens? You get saturated. It doesn't work. It's a bad idea. So we're not going to do that. We're going to show you how to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to show you how I do it and how the way I do it can be duplicated without being duplicated. And this will keep you unique.
These are the printed up sheets that I used. I printed them up from the course. I was highlighting them as I went through them, and it kind of gives you a breakdown of how it's presented. Okay, so this is the Mike Collins Facebook group, and this is one way that you can network once you're in the course. Not only do they have the Facebook groups, but they also have mastermind groups. And I think this is the real jewel of the whole course, is that you have this accountability, you have access to this network and these people that you can ask questions real time and get answers from people that are doing the exact same thing as you. In addition, there is a webinar that they have, Dave and Sarah Gilman have put on last night that there's going to be a link to below that you can kind of watch it, that recaps the course a little differently than I have here. And also, I think they're going to be doing bi-weekly webinars that are going to have someone that's been going through the process just like you and kind of put them in the hot seat, a member, in the hot seat that has gone through it, that has experience, both newbies and experienced people, and just do a Q&A and let people ask questions of them. So I think this is a real value that I don't want to diminish by just, like the videos and the content. This is also a huge element to it. It couldn't get any better. Mike offered me an affiliate link. So if you use this link, which you can't click on here, but if you go down below underneath the video, click on the arrow in the little description, there will be links to all the information that you need pertaining to this course. And if you click on my affiliate link, I will get a kickback for my family and for myself, and I would really appreciate it. If you're going to buy it anyway, it doesn't cost you anymore, and it would help me out a little bit. So thank you for that. I'm excited. Again, I just can't wait to get in there, get busy, and tell you about this. So I really, really hope that you are going to do this with me, and it has nothing to do with the affiliate link because I was doing this video anyway. I was doing the tour anyway. I just want you to take action. And I have a feeling that so many people are like me, willing to take $1,300 and invest it in a future that I could have a return of $300,000 every single year. or minimally that amount of money every single month. And to me, it is worth it. And that's how I kind of looked at it, that, really good education pays for itself over and over and over and over and over again. It's a drop in a very big bucket. Whatever you choose to pursue, it really should add more value than you're investing. And I honestly believe that Mike's course is going to do that for you. I believe it's going to do it for me. That's why I'm going to be in it. So I look forward to seeing you there. And I want you to take action, which is why, what's stopping you? What's stopping you? Get busy, guys. I love you. And I'll see you Tuesday for my behind the scenes video for my own private label. Bye.